A Lahore-based engineer turned sociologist has done something that Pakistan hasn't seen since partition. He has brought Sanskrit back as a field of study. He says that he wants to understand the soul of South Asia. Speaking to ThePrint, Shahid Rasheed, an associate professor of sociology at the Foreman Christian College, said that classical languages carry our collective wisdom and learning them is a moral project, a project of humanity. What started as a passion project has grown into what has been described as a renaissance of Sanskrit in Lahore, starting with workshops and growing into a full course at the Lahore University of Management Sciences. For 52-year-old Rasheed, language is a bridge. It is a shared history and it begins at home. His first student was his daughter, who is now fluent in Devanagari script. There is also an India connect. Rasheed traces his ancestry back to a village in Karnal in Haryana, and one of his grandmothers came from Shekhupura in Uttar Pradesh. These links for him are reminders of a shared civilizational landscape which has been fractured by borders, politics, and history. But building that bridge through Sanskrit wasn't easy in a country with no teachers and almost no trace of the language. But Rasheed has always had a keen interest in language and he encountered Sanskrit just by chance. 15 years ago, he stumbled upon a book called Self Teach Sanskrit, and for years it sat on his shelf unopened until one day he began reading it. According to Rasheed, the script Devanagari was so profound and artistic that it attracted him. Once he mastered the script, Sanskrit no longer felt unreachable. Now it was only daunting because there were no books or resources on Sanskrit in Pakistan. None of the libraries had it, and teachers warned him that it was too difficult of a language. So Rasheed improvised. He found guides where he could, from a Sanskrit professor in Australia to online platforms in the US to YouTube channels run by Indian NGOs. Rasheed said, and I quote, "I asked anyone traveling abroad to bring me Sanskrit books. Now I have a full shelf." Once he had acquired some mastery over Sanskrit, Rasheed acted on his instinct that other Pakistanis too would want to learn the classical language. That theory proved right when his workshops in Lahore drew students from computer science, business, and the humanities. Soon, a long-time acquaintance took notice. Historian Ali Usman Kasmi of LUMS, one of Pakistan's most prominent universities, had been searching for someone to expand language offerings under the Heritage at LUMS initiative. When he discovered that Rasheed had been teaching himself Sanskrit and had been excelling at it, he reached out. Kasmi told ThePrint that they were extremely lucky because LUMS already offered courses on Punjabi, Balochi, Pashto, Sindhi, and Arabic, including Persian. But he often wondered, what about others like local Indian languages or classical Indian languages? Now, at the Gurmani Center for Languages and Literature at LUMS, Rasheed first ran a Hindi workshop, then a 4-month Sanskrit program, and this year a full university level introductory course. This is the first of its kind in Pakistan. For Kasmi, the case for offering Sanskrit in Pakistan is both academic and philosophical. According to him, humanities departments at leading American universities regularly train students in classical languages. He told ThePrint, and I quote, "So much of Pakistan's philosophical traditions go back to the Vedic age, and Sanskrit is key to understanding our own cultural and religious landscape." Rasheed's first full semester long course, Introduction to Sanskrit, concluded only weeks ago. The enrollment was small, around 7 or 8 students, but the commitment was deep. Rasheed said that all of them now want to continue to level 2 and he calls it 100% satisfaction. But there are challenges. Cost remains a barrier. Fees at LUMS are high because it's a private university, and while the university has opened the course to non-enrolled students, many could not afford it. Kasmi insists that interest is not the problem, access is. But over time, he hopes that the university will build a stable enough student base to support year-long courses and even advanced instruction that would allow graduate students to engage directly with classical texts such as Mahabharata, Upanishads, and the Vedas. That is his ambition. And according to Kasmi, the implications are larger than scholarship. He said, and I quote, "In 10 or 15 years, we may have a new generation of Pakistani scholars who will be working on these texts." Such intellectual cross-pollination, as he calls it, could shift regional perceptions and according to him will dispel a lot of misconceptions in India about Pakistan. He said, and I quote, "People will realize that this is shared heritage and shared knowledge." Rasheed agrees. He speaks of Sanskrit, Arabic, and Persian not as relics but as tools. Learning another language, he said, is a way to step into someone's shoes. Classical languages, according to him, reveal continuities which have been obscured by modern politics, including shared stories, shared metaphors, shared wisdom, which passes across centuries. Rashid then gave the example of the dual noun. His Arabic teachers once told him that Arabic's capacity to express singular, dual, and plural forms was unique. Later, a Sanskrit instructor said the same of Sanskrit. Rashid laughs when he says that every language thinks that it is exceptional, but when you learn multiple languages, you see the world through many lenses and you break that ethnocentrism. He now has a long term goal. His goal is to write the first comprehensive Sanskrit grammar in Urdu of 3 volumes, the first of which he has already begun drafting. He says that it will take him a few years, but this is his life's project. In the end, he weighs in on the improbability of it all. He says that I never imagined people in India would take interest in this, but language perhaps does create bridges. This is Debdutta for The Print. Keep watching for more such videos.